What up, knife guys? Knife nerds? Knife bitches? How are you, my people? Hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment, hit that notification bell. You know you want to. You're fighting it. You're like, oh, I don't know if I should. You should. Just do it. I see that 90% of my views come from non-subscribers. That is crazy to me. Don't be part of that craziness. Hit like and subscribe. So, what are we looking at today? Yeah, it's going to be another knife. So, what do we have? Well, I guess you can read it. From my angle, I couldn't, but the camera's at a better angle. It is a knife made by QSP. It is a very heavily reviewed knife. So, I decided to go get one. So, in this very kind of neat marble, sort of fibrous texture looking box, it's a very nice little box. Comes with a stickers. Have a knife day. That is clever. Looks almost like the Linux penguin. And a picture with a wolf. Yeah, those are not going on my Mustang. And then there's a little card. Greetings. Thank you for buying this QSP knife. We hope you enjoy it. Here are some specs about your knife. Let's go over the specs, yo. So what do we have? A total length of 7.06 inches. 7 inches, not bad, am I right? Got a D2 blade. It's a Wharncliffe design. Got thumb studs. It's a liner lock. And it's a shredded carbon fiber overlay G10. I don't know. Sounds cool. Let's take a look at it. Oh, and it's got some jimping. Gotta have that jimping. So let's take it out of the box. Oh, there's not one of those little desiccant things that tell me not to eat it. Oh, well. I can find another snack, no worries. Let's get the sticker. Put that stuff in the box because I am never going to use it for anything. Let's see, what do we have? And we'll throw it up and compare it to some of the... It stopped me dead in my tracks while I was talking. That's an interesting scale. So it says it's over G10, but I don't see any G10 in here. Maybe that was for the box next to it. The one that was checked was this carbon fiber overlay. It's about the size of an Elementum. I get a little more purchase on it than an Elementum, but it's about the same size. Blade's a little taller. Smooth action. I think these are copper washers, not bronze phosphor. They specifically say copper washers. All right. Let's run through it. Very nice, fairly high flat grind. Edge feels okay. We'll do a paper cut test in a moment. Point is pretty stabby. When you stab, you might change the angle a little bit because it's not like you got a drop point or a spear point or something like that where it's much more in line. But that type of blade is more for utility work and cuts, and this will be better for things like a draw cut on something like that than this one will. This is going to be good for poking holes in things, and it's got some belly. So this is going to be a good slicer, but different blade designs have, their different uses and stuff. The blade stock is fairly thick. It's just a wee bit thicker than my luscious Civivi Centos. One of my favorite knives. Of all the knives I currently have, including my Lion Steels, there's something about this damn knife. It is beautiful. Everything's just so perfectly rounded. The machining on that blade, it's wicked sharp. The jimping. Look at that burlap. Micarta. Man, this is a friggin' fantastic knife. Don't know how they're selling it for $60-something, but anyway, don't want to steal the show here. This is about the D2 QSP Penguin. Nice, smaller. This is about as small as I'd want to go. Like I said, it fits my hand just a little bit better than the Elementum. And we've got steel liner lock. Lockup looks good. Blade centering, dead on balls accurate. Action's nice. Can you do a reverse flick for those weenies that are all about the reverse flick? Because I think it looks cool. I guess you have to sit here. It's kind of slippery. I will say this thing about it. Can you do it? Probably you have to sit there and practice with it, which is why I don't do the Spidey flick, because anything that requires you to practice it, to me, I should be able to just walk up to a knife, literally, have this on the table, not even look at it. I'm looking to the side. I grab it. I go, okay, there's a flipper. Boom. You know, I don't have to sit here and arrange and figure out, well, how am I going to hold it so I can exert enough pressure here, but not have the knife slide out of my hand, not have this finger get in the way of the blade and stop. Anything that requires you to do that to learn how to open it, it's not a good way to open a knife. It's a stupid way to open the knife. And I don't know why people insist on doing it. I don't. Super deep pocket carry clip. That is reversible, but it is tip up, but at least for lefties, you got an opening. You got your thumb studs on both sides. This can be moved over there because it's straight. You don't have to worry about it. It'll look just as fun. So you take those screws out, move it over there, pull those screws out, swap them around. When you look at it this way, it does have, you know, the mushroom head sticking up. Some people get mushroom. They want it recessed. On a knife that costs $36, I'm not worried about it. Spring tension, it's pretty good. It's right about where I want it. As far as a hot spot, the way that falls, your hand kind of folds in and creates like a little nook. It's right in the middle of that. So honestly, like you look at that point, you go, oh, that's not gonna be fun, but I'm really not feeling it. I mean, I'm gripping it hard and it's not poking into my hand. It kind of goes right into that crease there. For my hand, that works really well. I want to say this. We'll be curious how to see how this carries, like with thick jeans. It's not very deep this way. So some jeans are going to be really kind of thick. You know, they got the edge where it's rolled over. That material is going to be, see how like that's got twice as much space in it? Well, maybe not twice as much. But between the button heads, we'll have to see how this works. I haven't seen people complain about it, but if you look at the gap between the top of the screws and the metal, there's not that much there. So if you've got jeans on that have a nice thick edge there on the top, the leading edge of your pocket, we'll have to see how that works. Yeah, I mean, this one's thin too. If I go and look at my Kershaw Blur, it's pretty damn thin. So, and it's not usually a problem. So maybe it won't be okay. I'll say that here's the difference. That's smooth. There's nothing to catch on it. Here, when you've got that small space, and then you got those nubbins, and you push it up, and it kind of goes, and clicks on. It ain't gonna come loose, but you might have to pull it. It might, it might snag on your jeans. Well, let's see. I'm doing this off camera, but putting it on the shorts that I'm wearing doesn't seem to be a problem. I think it's gonna be thicker jeans that may have a problem. Size comparison. Damn it! I wish I had two things. The Foresight, because I'm comparing it to the damn Elementum. Wish I'd thought of bringing the damn Elementum out. And my ADD didn't even think of that. The other thing is I wish my stupid-ass Apple iPhone had a pause button on the video, because I could pause this. Instead of me running out of the office, running down to the other end of the house, going through my knife drawer to find my Elementum, I could hit pause and then unpause it, and you would be none the wiser. Of course, now that I told you my secret, now you will know, but don't tell anybody. But this is how it compares to something like a Blur, which one of the best knives. One of the best, everyone talks about like the Paramilitary 2. There's a bunch of knives that come to mind when you think about, the ultimate EDC that just it's ubiquitous. Everybody has had one or should have one. Para 2, that's up there. So is this Ken Onion design, the way that is ramped. So your thumb, it's jimped, but you're not pushing against like an edge. This is so comfortable to push because it's ramped. It doesn't dig into your thumb at all. Of course, it's assisted opening, and it opens in a Blur. Love that knife. But that's the new Penguin. I mean, it's not new. It's been around for a while, but this one's new to me. I really love this carbon fiber. It's not your normal carbon fiber. It's like chipped carbon fiber that's then put together in resin, which actually I've seen on like the latest Lamborghini Performante has that type of taking carbon fiber and then busting up into chips and re-epoxying it into the resin, and it comes up with just a really cool patterns like that instead of just seeing the carbon weave. It's essentially, if you think about it, like making plywood out of carbon fiber, taking wood chips and pressing them together with glue. Well, you're kind of doing the same thing here with carbon fiber chips and resin. Looks really good. All the edges are smooth. The lock manipulation is great. It's got a little cutout right there so you can see it. Got a little jimping. It is rounded though, so the jimping gives you enough grip, but it doesn't chew up your thumb. That's from me cutting myself the other day, which my thumb is very sensitive right now in the end because of that cut, but it's not hurting it. It's actually very comfortable. The action is smooth, but it's not going to be as smooth, at least now. Maybe this will wear in. It's not going to be as smooth as something like that that's running on... These are phosphor bronze washers, but my other, a lot of my other Civivis and other knives have ceramic ball bearings. So it's not quite this smooth yet, but Civivi does a really good job with that. But I think it will be. It's almost there. I mean, it's actually smoothed out just since I opened. So, will it cut? Will it keel? In the words of Doug Makaider. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Very, very, very slicey out of the box. Very nice. Will it do a push cut? What do you think? Cast your votes now. Yeah. Does. Well, maybe it depends on where you do it on the... maybe I just got lucky. All right, so it's not quite doing the push cut every time the way that one does. But I've also stropped this. I sat there for 5 minutes and put just a wicked keen edge on that. This one will get the same. In fact, as soon as I'm done with this video, we're going to strop it and clean that edge up a little bit. But out of the gate, very slicey. That's a good working edge. We'll clean it up and just make it a little less toothy. Polish that edge up just a little bit. That's a really nice knife. This is also going to be excellent for, that was just almost like the weight of the knife. That was the weight of the knife. That was with a little pressure, but it almost went through there. It actually almost kind of did. Like, that's a really good fine point. So when you're using it like as a utility knife, it's just effortless, just like a razor blade. It cuts like an X-Acto knife. Whereas with a blade like this, it will cut, but you kind of almost got to get up on the point, and then sometimes the point will snag. It's just, this is a really good blade for those types of cuts. It doesn't have any real belly to it. That's the only thing, but Wharncliffes typically don't, so it won't be as good of a slicer in some regards as this. It's just a different style blade, but that's a good sturdy, that tip seems pretty stout. That's pretty well supported. So not bad. That's not a swedge, so that's flat. Good, that means my Lansky sharpener, the base here will be able to clamp onto it really well if I ever had to touch up the edge. That's always the problem when you got blades with back swedges and stuff, is at least my type that I like to use doesn't have a flat place to clamp onto. So weight on this, I don't know if that was in the specs. It gave all the other dimensions. Yeah, it doesn't give the weight, but it's under, I think it's under 3 ounces. It's a fairly light knife. It's not a bug out, but it feels like it's probably 2.5 to 2.7, somewhere in that. It's under 3 ounces. That carbon fiber is really light. The steel doesn't have any cutouts, surprisingly. They didn't do any lightening there, but I don't know. It's pretty damn light. Uses Torx. Those are probably T6s and a T8 up here. I'll go over it real quick and just check all the tightness on all the screws and stuff. But, for someone who really likes that Elementum, but it just doesn't quite gel with my grip, it's a little too small. And the way that on the Elementum, it kind of kicks up here and it kicks up there, and because it's a flipper, it just digs into my finger. This is a much more gradual edge, and that's just more of a little hump, so I feel it there, but I can grab that whole thing tightly, and it doesn't cut into my knuckle or into my finger back here. So Elementum size, but it's just that tiny bit more filling for my hands. If you don't have a 1X or 2X glove size, then you may not notice the difference. For me, it's just enough to make a difference. So that is a QFP or QSP Penguin, and that is in their carbon fiber. They've got a bunch of different blade finishes. When you go to Amazon, there's like 15 or something. There's like a whole shit ton of them, different colors, and coated blade versus non-coated blade. I've heard that there are some premium ones that you can find out there. that might have micarta and like an S35 VN or something like that blade. I haven't seen one of those in stock, but I know that there's a couple premium versions out there that I don't know if they were limited runs or what have you, but that's a knife I'll carry. That's a nice little knife. They've got it with different color carbon fiber. This one has blue accents, which is almost kind of like the Blur. It's that sort of deep blue. And then they've got, red. They've got micarta. There's blue denim micarta. There's G10. There's all kinds of stuff, different colors and things. So there you have it. The QSP Penguin. Who doesn't love a penguin? They're adorable. And so is that. So anyway, hit like, subscribe, tell your friends. I'll put a link to this. It's cheap. It's good. There's no blade play. There's no wiggle anywhere. I mean, there's a tiny bit of blade flex, but you're going to get that on any knife. But that's a really nice made little knife. No sharp edges. They do a good job. Sometimes you'll feel there's a gap there, or the spacer, I'm sorry, the liner is cut like 0.5 millimeter more than the whatchamacallit, the scale itself, and so there's like a little ridge there and your finger catches on it, or the outside edge is beveled, but if you rub it this way moving out, that edge is sharp. They've beveled and cleaned up everything. Everything. There's nothing on here that feels like they cut any corners. Oh, that's kind of neat how that actually goes and just slides in. See that? So it actually slides into there, which is good. It just reduces the amount that it's going to wiggle. You got 2 screws instead of 1 to anchor it, which is good. But then also just being in that cut channel, it just gives that little extra bit of security and stability. Not bad. That is a great little EDC. Really, really nice. I'm still digging these. But I'm going to carry this one for a couple days and see how I like it. And of course, man, you can, even check the sharpness on this guy. How does this one cut? That is just, yeah. The Blurs, I've owned several Blurs over the year. Every one of them has come scary sharp out of the box. Push cuts, nope. Whoop. Well, it's always weird. It goes the first time. Doing a push cut? No. But man, I'm just barely kissing that. With a nice little curly Q. That is a super sharp blade. Love me some Blur. Ken Onion, I met you once at the Blade Show a few years ago. You're kind enough to just standing there at the CRKT booth, and it was a little lull in the foot traffic, and we sat there chatting for a few minutes. Really chill, down-to-earth guy, man. And I think this is an epic EDC knife. Everybody should have a Blur. I also think everybody should have one of these. And I'm thinking you should have one of these. You know what? Just get one of everything. Save yourself the trouble and the heartache of, oh man, I should have got. These are cheap. I mean, this one was $80. That was like $60. This is under $40 shipped Amazon to your house, 48 hours. No reason not to have one of these in your collection. It's beautiful. Anyway, I'll stop rambling. Have a good one.